All right, let's talk about something we all take for granted: power. It's always there until it's not. And when the grid goes down, sure, having a backup generator is a great start. But the real magic, the part that actually saves the day, is getting that generator to kick in at exactly the right second. Today, we're diving into the brain of that operation, the piece of tech that closes the gap. Okay, just imagine it for a second. You're right in the middle of something. Could be running a business, could be a critical operation at a hospital, or heck, you're just at home, and boom, the power cuts out. Everything just stops. That sudden, dead silence, that's the moment of truth. Your entire backup plan gets put to the test right then and there. And believe me, what happens in the next few seconds is everything. See, a really solid backup system isn't just about owning a generator. No, it's all about how you manage that switch, that handoff, from the main grid to your own power. And right in the middle of that transition, there's this tiny window of time, a moment of truth that can make or break everything. We call it the critical power gap. So here's how it's supposed to work. The main power fails. Instantly, your UPS, that's your uninterruptible power supply, kicks in. Think of it like a big battery that gives you a few precious seconds, maybe a couple of minutes of juice. But that's it. It's just a temporary bridge. And that's where we see the gap. It's this high-stakes countdown. The generator absolutely has to fire up and take the load before that battery dies. So how do we make sure we bridge that gap successfully every single time? Well, you need a brain. You need something smart sitting in the middle of it all, managing the whole handoff. A piece of hardware that sees the power is out, yells at the generator to get started, and then seamlessly switches everything over. This transfer mechanism, it's literally the brains of the entire outfit. And that brings us to the two main players in this game. You've got two different solutions for this one critical job. In one corner, we have the automatic transfer switch, or ATS. And in the other corner, you've got the much beefier PLC switchgear. Now, they're both trying to do the same thing, but trust me, they're worlds apart in how they do it. Okay, so first up is the ATS. The way to think about this guy is as the straightforward specialist. It's usually just a compact little box you see mounted on a wall, and its entire reason for existing, its one job in life, is to watch the power from the grid. The second it fails, bam, it automatically flips you over to your generator. Simple, super reliable, and built for one thing. And then you've got the PLC switchgear. This is the industrial strength, no messing around powerhouse. Yeah, we are not talking about a little box on the wall anymore. I want you to picture a huge cabinet, a whole integrated system, just packed with breakers and screens and sensors. It's all run by a PLC, a programmable logic controller, which is basically a super tough industrial computer. And it doesn't just manage the power transfer. Oh, no. It can manage an entire ecosystem of power sources with unbelievable precision. Okay, let's break this down with a really simple analogy. Think of the automatic transfer switch like one of those old-school light switch timers. You know the ones. You set it, and it just reliably turns the lights on and off. It has one job, and it's great at it. The PLC switchgear, that's more like the brain of a full-blown smart home. It's not just turning on the lights, it's managing the security system, the thermostat, the sprinklers. It's coordinating the whole ecosystem based on whatever complex rules you give it. All right, so let's put these two head to head. How do they actually stack up when we look at the things that really matter? Let's break it down. Okay, let's start with functionality. Your ATS, it does a basic transfer. That's its whole gig. A PLC, on the other hand, gives you advanced logic, things like load shedding. What's that? It means it's smart enough to say, hey, power is tight, let's shut down the non-essential stuff to keep the critical systems running. Super smart. Now, what about reliability? An ATS is totally reliable for simple jobs. But a PLC system, it's built with layers of redundancy, backups for those places that absolutely cannot afford a single second of downtime. And finally, scalability. An ATS is pretty much limited to a single generator setup. A PLC can juggle multiple generators, solar power, battery banks, you name it, which, as you can imagine, makes the installation a whole lot more involved. And all that extra power, that crazy flexibility and complexity, well, it leads us right to the big question, the one that's often the deciding factor for pretty much everyone. Yup, let's talk about the price. So, for a standard ATS, the kind you'd get for your home or a small business, you're looking at an installed cost of somewhere between, say, $600 and $3,000. It's pretty accessible, right? A really affordable way to handle your basic backup needs. But then, you look at a PLC switchgear system, and the price tag? It takes a massive jump. We're talking anywhere from $10,000 to well over $100,000. And that price isn't just for show. It covers all the custom engineering, the high-end parts, the redundant systems, and all the complex programming that goes into making sure that even a single second of downtime, which could cost millions, never, ever happens. Okay, so you've got this huge difference in price and capability. How in the world do you choose the right one? Well, it really boils down to one thing: matching the solution to your specific needs. It's not about which one is better overall, it's about which one is the right fit for the job you need it to do. Let's get practical here with some real-world examples. For your house, or maybe a small business, a place where a few minutes of downtime during a power outage is annoying but not the end of the world. An ATS is the perfect choice. It's exactly what you need. But if we're talking about a data center, a hospital, a huge factory, places where even a flicker in the power could be absolutely catastrophic, well, then the insane control and redundancy of a PLC switchgear isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. So to wrap it all up, here's your simple checklist. You're going to go with an ATS for simple, non-critical stuff, setups with just one generator, and of course, when you're keeping an eye on the budget. You choose the PLC switchgear when downtime is simply not an option, when you've got a complex system with lots of different power sources, and when you're protecting a truly mission-critical facility. Simple as that. So I'll just leave you with this one final thought to chew on. As our world gets more and more connected, think about it. Which of the systems in your life or your business that you used to think of as non-critical are now actually pretty essential? That simple light switch might have been fine a few years ago, but is your backup system really ready for the demands of today and tomorrow?
Order your copy today, available exclusively on Amazon.